Hello, welcome to MTG Pro Tutor. I'm Sean Penrod, your host, and today we'll open this M15 booster pack and evaluate the cards inside. When you're drafting, it's important that you want to stay open for your first several picks. This means picking the best card regardless of color. So let's dive on in and see what the best card is. So I always take out the marketing card. Ooh, we got a token. And the land. And then I always look at the rare first. Aha! Aether Spouts. So this is a very interesting card. I was actually just talking to a friend about this card today. It's pretty neat. It does have a game-changing effect. However, it's easily telegraphed, meaning it costs 5 mana to cast, and if you're playing against a blue mage and they have 5 mana open, you might want to think, maybe I shouldn't do a full swing because he could pay 5 mana and return all your creatures to the top or bottom of your library. Now, you are the one that puts it on the top or the bottom, so you can choose where they go. However, do keep in mind that you should be able to see this trick a mile away. Likewise, if you are playing blue, look for opportunities to catch your opponent. By casting this, you can really set them back. If you're able to, if they do a full swing and you're able to catch them, you should be able to win the game from that, assuming you have any kind of board state at all. If not, then look to get 2-3 cards off of this. Sometimes if your opponent's smart, they're not going to give you that opportunity. They're just going to attack with one guy who can get through one at a time. So if you are not in blue and let's say you open this on your third pack, I would not pick this. However, keep in your mind that you did see this card and know that if you're playing someone in your pod who is playing blue and they have 5 mana open, that they might have this in their hand. Alright, so this is not necessarily a first pick for me. This is not a reason for me to play blue. So I'm going to see what other spells are in this pack here and make the decision off of that. So we have Solemn Offering. This is one of the 4 ways to destroy an enchantment in M15. The other 3 are green. Amphin Pathmage. So this has turned out to be a pretty good card. It's able to make a creature unblockable for this turn, which it's really good. It's really good. For only 3 mana, you can ping away at your opponent. As soon as you've stabilized, you're able to get creatures in. If they don't have a removal spell to either get your creature or to get the Pathmage, then you're in. I've lost to Pathmage before because I did not draw my direct damage. Speaking of direct damage, Lightning Strike, excellent card. First pick quality for sure. Red is very strong in M15, and this is one of the reasons why. Which is familiar, it's great. It fills the 3-drop in a black deck very nicely. 2/3s are pretty strong here in M15. However, this is not a first pick card. It doesn't make me want to play black. Shaman of Spring is very strong. I like it. It's a 2/2 for 4 mana, but you do get to draw a card. So at the very least, she replaces herself, and that gets you into your your bombs or your land quicker. Soulmender, definitely not first picking this guy. He's a 1/1 for 1. You can tap him to gain a life, so he combos well with a Johnny's Pride Mate, but other than that, he's not that great. Mind Sculpt, here you go. If you go Mind Sculpt, you want to go all Mind Sculpt. So if you're brave, you can first pick Mind Sculpt and then just draft every single Mind Sculpt you see, because you really want to run at least 3 for your deck to be effective. If you can get 4, that's amazing, because you're really going to guarantee that you're going to draw the Mind Sculpt a couple times and really deck your opponent for sure. So shoot for 3, and 4 is better. Torch Fiend's alright. It's a 2/1 for 2. You can sack it to destroy an artifact. Maybe sideboard this in if they're playing a bunch of artifacts, but beyond that, I'm not too sure that you're going to main deck this card. Bronze Sable, speaking of artifacts, is a 2/1 for 2. Great for blocking those pesky Intimidate creatures. Meditation Puzzle is a dud. Do not play it or cast it. In my opinion, life gain only cards do not have enough effect on the game to really matter. Here is our first uncommon. It's Venom Sliver, a 1/1 for 2 mana. He does have Death Touch, and all other slivers you control have Death Touch, so I would say he's the second best sliver, the best being white, the second one being him. The other 3, pretty much, I believe, unplayable in M15. I'm not really going to first pick Venom Sliver, but he's not bad. He's not a bad pick. Warden of the Beyond, so he's a 2/2 for 3 mana with Vigilance, so that's good. But then if he ever he gets +2/+2 if your opponent has an exiled creature. Sorry, the lights just went out. I'm going to have to go figure out what just happened. Sorry about that. So Warden of Beyond gets +2/+2 as long as an opponent owns a card in exile. And finally, we have Might Makes Right. This is a win more card. So this says, for 6 mana, you have this enchantment, and at the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you control each creature on the battlefield with the greatest power, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. So basically, if you are strong and in a great board position, you're going to be even stronger and have a better board position. This is a win more card. This is not good to have because you don't really need win more cards. Alright, so I don't think I'm taking Aether Spout's first pick. Warden of Beyond's kind of interesting. I do like that. Venom Sliver's not a first pick. I think if you want to go the mill route, if you're brave, Mind Sculpt is first pickable. But again, you need to go all in on that strategy. Lightning Strike is first pickable. Amphin Path Mage is first pickable. So I would, in this pack, I would go Amphin Path Mage. I really like the idea of turning things unblockable. The only problem is with picking Amphin Path Mage is by picking blue and then passing, a strong, blue card, then you might be sending a signal that blue is open. So you might want to stay out of blue if the guy on your left is going to be in blue, therefore making Lightning Strike a good first pick. If you want to really play the stay open card, you can play, or rather if you really don't want to send any signals, you can go Bronze Sable, because that's an artifact. You can play it in any deck. It's not a bad 2-drop, and it lets you kind of go one more round with seeing what what's available. So, so judging by the fact that there are a couple blue cards here to choose from, I would probably go with the Lightning Strike, because the only other red card you're passing is really not that strong, the Torch Fiend. So I would go Lightning Strike, Amphin Path Mage, Aether Spouts, and Venom Sliver. Maybe Aether Spouts would be second, I'm not sure. So it depends on what my first pick is. If my first pick was a blue card and someone passes me Aether Spouts, I might go for it. So there you have it. There's my opinion on this pack here. You saw the cards as I thumbed through it. Please let me know what you think. What would you first pick and why? I'm Sean Penrod, and I hope you learned something. Get out there and win more drafts. We'll see you in the next pack.